it won't run out.
Well, there's a difference between a stimulus package and a welfare package.
Okay.
So a stimulus package is going to put us to work.
All right.
So it's sustainable.
Okay.
Welfare is not sustainable. It doesn't go up, doesn't increase. It's a set number. It's a set number of dollars. No matter how many kids you have, no matter where you live, that's it. That's all you get.
Well, I'm talking
So,
about more welfare on not so much personal welfare. That's where
Well,
everybody go. I'm talking more corporate
well,
welfare.
right, but-
Some of these big companies, Joe know what I'm talking about. You know, these big companies like some of these big auto places that got what you call corporate welfare.
Well,
you know
let me finish what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying. So welfare is not a sustainable concept in any magnitude.
Okay.
To give someone some money
Yeah.
and say, okay, do what you need to do with it,
Right.
that's not sustainable. You have
Yeah.
to teach them something. There has to be
Yes.
some training that goes along with
Yeah.
it, which is where the welfare concept comes from. It's
Sure.
not educating people
Sure.
to how to do it themselves. It's not teaching them how to fish. It's giving them a fish.
Sure. Well, I've seen the
Whereas
case
the
also,
stimulus-
but I did. let me say this right. Since we did go personal
don't have a
welfare,
debate today,
and
huh?
people going to be calling me Reverend and Facebook and me. But let me just say this right here, in all honesty, and salute to personal welfare. I've seen where 10 people were on a family of 10, where the mother was on welfare, and she raised 10 taxpayers. She raised, come on. Now, is that not,
School
she
tax.
raised 10 taxpayers, 10 people that wasn't on welfare, that worked every day, you understand me, and became great taxpayers.
I'm not saying that
No, we're
everyone's
not bringing,
right.
we're not bringing Alicia. I just want,
No, I'm not-
just, cheers up for those that
What
did
I'm saying is that the
receive
government
welfare.
program, the government program that got them there,
Sure.
didn't help them to didn't help her to raise 10
Yeah.
taxpayers.
Right.
She raised 10 taxpayers.
Well,
So
but
what
the
I'm saying
economic,
is the government
but
giving
the
us-
idea,
one
but-
moment,
go
one
ahead,
moment.
go ahead.
The government giving a stimulus
Sure.
is a different thing because it's teaching them how to fish. It's not giving them a fish and saying, okay, you're on your own. We'll give it to you every month. We'll give you one fish and you do what you got to do. It's the stimulus package is putting people to work. It's sustainable. So I'm just
Where
trying to
do
make
that
the
money
difference.
come from, the stimulus package money? What is that money? What is it?
It comes from
You
our
got a
taxes.
wallet?
I got
my
my-
taxes.
That's where it come from my
That's
wallet.
where it
Taxes,
originates.
exactly.
Somebody has to pay for it.
But didn't somebody sign something with China or something like that? Was that part of the
Some
deal?
loan.
Some kind of loan or whatever? Was that part of it? Are we too high or should we come down now?
No, we're getting some loan money.
Oh,
There's
we're getting loan
definitely-
money.
There's definitely some
So
bonding
is,
that's going on.
let me ask you this right here, Joe, you're in real estate. Is the stimulus package similar to, you know how you refinance your house and you pay off all your creditors? You pay off your car loan, you pay off your credit cards and this, and you have one loan. Is that what America done, Joe?
Well, I'm not sure exactly where you're coming from, but what the intent of the stimulus package is identical to what she was talking about.
Sure.
Is there a payback on it? Is that what you're
Who,
saying?
in other words, what I'm saying, Joe, is this right here. All right.
It's more like a grant. Okay, you're giving somebody something to work with.
Okay.
Okay, the money just isn't printed. It's coming from someone.
Sure.
It's going to eventually come from your children.
Sure.
You probably won't see the day when this will all be paid off. I doubt, unless the economy really booms
Sure.
and we're able to get the Treasury back up to where it should be. Obama came into office, we were already in trouble.
That's the
as
truth.
far as finances
That's
are
the truth.
concerned. Okay, so he has to spend. He knows he has to spend, and he doesn't have the money. You know, it's a fact that we're borrowing money from China because we just don't have it. Hopefully,
So then they hold the mortgage.
exactly. They're the
So
bankers.
they're the bankers.
Right, they're the bankers.
That's what I'm trying to get out.
Yes.
So someone do hold this mortgage.
Yeah.
That there's a mortgage on this thing
Exactly.
that we have to pay back.
But they can't
Now, do we
foreclose on
pay?
the
The,
United States.
are we gonna? So the thing is this right here. They can't do what?
They can't foreclose on the United States.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the World Bank, now that's World Bank problem. We got to get somebody in here from the World Bank next time to talk about this right here, to really put this thing, so we can, as American people, can really get to understand exactly what the stimulus package is. You know.
The government, just like you, borrows money.
Okay.
Okay, they just can't print and say, well, I need $8 billion.
That's right.
Go down there and print up $8 billion. It don't happen that way. The money comes from somewhere.
All right.
If you don't have it in the treasury, you borrow it.
Okay.
And it's borrowed from other countries. We borrow a great deal from China. China happens to be doing an enormous amount of business with us, and they're and we have been borrowing from them. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Sure.
But we've got to pay it back.
We got to pay it back.
Okay, and the best way to pay it back is an economic boom.
Okay.
And get union workers back to work and start buying American goods. So start, and in fact, I don't want to get into manufacturing. Start manufacturing again. Okay, so we buy our own product. Every time I go to a store, I look at something, then back it. Made in Taiwan, made in Korea.
Joe,
it's made everywhere but here.
But Joe, let me ask you this right here.
Yeah.
I know of your sojourn with the unions. You were union president years ago, and I mean, you come with a great a wealth of knowledge. But let me ask you this right here. As a capitalist country, can we really afford to make our own stuff? Or do we have to buy from a nation where they may not have the unions and they may not get paid the same amount. Because our union workers, we have to be paid because of the way our economy is, the way the economy is here, you see. So can we actually, as the United States, can we actually go back into reproducing, and will we be able to afford to buy the stuff if we produce it?
You know, we have no choice but to do so. The world is shrinking. We've got to change the way we think. Okay? There's competition, and at one time it was millions of miles, thousands of miles away. Today it's around the corner.
Sure.
They produce, and it's here within days.
That's the truth.
Okay, so we've got to adjust to
But
that.
can we, Joe?
Yes, we can do anything. This country, you can do anything.
Yeah, but the idea, if we produce, let's just say, a cell phone that's made, manufactured here in America, can the American people afford to buy it?
American people have no choice but to do so. If you went into the store and you saw something that was American made and it cost you a few cents more, you've got to do in your conscience say, wait a minute. It's going to cost me an extra quarter or an extra dollar,
Yeah.
but I know the money's staying here. It's going into some family's pocket. Somebody who has a job here.
Sure.
You've got to be willing to sacrifice that.
Sure.
Okay. If you're going to keep running down to the dollar store,
Sure.
so that you can save 50 cents,
Right.
well, we're going to run into this problem.
Okay.
Okay, but labor has to understand too. It has to come to terms. I mean, it's got to learn that it's got to change the way it does business too.
Okay.
And it's doing so now. You see it in American Airlines.
Yeah.
It's going to extreme stuff.
Sure, sure.
Okay, where corporate America takes advantage of things
Sure,
like
sure.
this. Okay, but yeah, there's shared sacrifices here,
Sure.
and you have to share in those sacrifices.
Okay.
Unfortunately, people take advantage of situations like that. But that's what it's all about. We have to work in and realize that.
But
we're in the
if,
same
okay,
together.
now China and Asia has become more or less like a breadbasket for goods all over the world. And the idea, if we in the United States start manufacturing our stuff, right, and as you say, we would buy our stuff here, buy here and this and another. The other Western nations may still depend on Asia as a breadbasket in producing things. All right, will that in 10 years put them ahead of us? And will that, you understand me?
I
Will we
understand
hurt
what
by,
you're saying.
you understand what I'm, see, so in other words, you know what I'm talking about, Joe. Come on, Joe, you know what I'm
But
talking
with
about.
this country,
Yeah.
it's always been noted for is its ingenuity.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, they're going to produce cheaper because what they do is they have cheap labor
Right.
and they exploit labor.
Yes.
Okay, you've got kids working in factories for nothing.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to live with that.
We clean
In
that up
time,
here.
that's going
Yeah,
to change.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, it'll change in China.
Yes, yes.
And they will unionize in other
Right,
countries.
exactly,
and then
exactly.
we brought up to our levels.
But until that, okay, you know the ride that we did here in America. There was child labor laws and things of that nature that we, you know what I mean, that we went through
Exactly.
here, and we evolved out of it. We evolved out of it without a doubt. We evolved. It'd be crazy now to even think of something like that. Kid 8 years old working, from sun up to sundown. It would be crazy here because we evolved out of it. Now the rest of the world, China and places like that, they have to evolve out of it. But at this moment. You understand me? While they're in it, not that we're taking advantage, because I think that we are helping the evolution by purchasing their goods. What do you think?
Well, this change has to come about, and it's not going to come about overnight.
Sure.
Okay, you'd like it to happen tomorrow. It
That's
doesn't
right.
happen tomorrow.
No,
It'll happen in time.
That's right.
Okay, but people should have an understanding of what has to be done and what's happening around them.
Sure.
Okay, and in time will change. Countries, I believe, will become more unionized, and then certainly the important thing about a union is not so much to grab up what goodies they can grab.
Sure.
People have that impression of unions. They're in there to gouge.
Sure.
They're not in there to gouge. Okay, they try to make a nation a strong middle class.
Sure,
people.
sure.
And the whole idea behind the unions is that it's the unions are there. They're the few. To protect the many.
Sure, of course.
Rather, I should say, is to protect the many against the few.
Sure.
And you have corporate exploiters.
Without a doubt.
You see what they're doing.
That would fire you.
Look around
That would fire you just because they don't like the way you color your eyes, and that's what the union will protect you for that right there. So it's still a great hollow to have. It's still a great thing. What do you want to say, Alicia?
Oh, I'd like to interject. Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
So I've been taking notes. So one of the things that you said is that we should go back to manufacturing. And not that I don't disagree with that, but our manufacturing industry in the United States has shrunk so much. Now, we have a choice to make right
Sure.
now. We're at a crossroads. So do we go back to where we were 30, 40 years ago and become a manufacturing and industrial nation? Or do we move forward and become the service nation that we're becoming now? So most of our industries in the United States, a majority of them are service industries. We sell things that are service oriented rather than manufacturing goods. We're not a goods manufacturing